Discussing that heat in the street, and we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G, got what you need. Vitamin G, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. You rockin' with beasts, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this Vitamin G. Hey,
Final round.
I already know how I'm coming, man. Try run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's by smoke, then we toke all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Check it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could it be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on Vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mind struck, start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the game, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them dogs on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on Vitamin G.
We are live. What's going on, YouTube? This your boy FC Violent, back again with another weekly dose of that Vitamin G Gaming Podcast. You already know what it is. Dante looks like he's already upset. What's going on? Let's introduce.
No. I forgot to open up the fucking podcast and get the chat out so I can read it.
Gotcha. First, I'm gonna introduce our panel. My guy, Dante Christ. What's going on with you, bro? What you been up to?
Not much. Finished up Def Jam 5 for New York. Spotless fucking record. I think about over 80 wins, no losses. So that was a lot of fun. Finished the main story for Borderlands, the Enhanced Edition. It's a fucking joke. It is a fucking awful edition. Do not buy it on PC. It has a lot of fucking issues. Buy the original. The game was fun with friends, but as boring as I remember it being, and the ending still is annoying as hell. DLC's really been funny though, especially with the zombies, the Island of Dr. Ned. That one's been funny. Aside from that, played some Halo today with Jube,
Oh, okay.
who is not here, despite the fact that he is supposed to have all of today off.
Interesting. Message him out.
Aside from that, some of the usual that I'll get to at the end of the podcast when I do my outro. Oh, I'm also playing Call of Duty Zombies right now because, fuck professionalism, especially when you're me. But also, can anybody tell the background that I'm currently having right now? Oh, and then a side note, just to get this out of the way and on the front. You ain't taking my niece today, motherfucker. You can drop that childish shit right now. I'll admit my wrong, and I was wrong. Okay, I'm just gonna get that out of the way right now.
Wrong about what, sir? Wrong about what, sir?
I was wrong about. Well, I was wrong about previous gens not being able to do something like what Rift Apart did, because. Unlike a lot of people, I didn't just read the fucking headline. I actually read the article and watched his video as well.
Yep.
He said something like what they did could have been done on previous gen hardware with Rift Apart.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go into specifics of exactly what they did could have been done, which is one of the biggest flaws of that video.
Okay. All right, so I'm not gonna go in. You did bend the knee, so I'll let it be.
I didn't bend no fucking knee.
I'm not gonna gloat too much.
Fuck, I hate that fucking terminology. I'm gonna start backhanding every motherfucker that says it. It's so fucking stupid.
It's all right, man. You're in England, bro. Bending the knee is common practice.
No, we make motherfuckers bend the knee. Look at the Scottish.
No,
they
but
still ain't forgiving us for that shit.
That's true. But other than that, man, what's going on, Omar? What you been up to, my G?
Yeah, I bought a game called Oxenfree.
Oh,
or
okay.
Oxenfree, let me get.
I haven't played that.
I don't know if you download it, but I highly recommend it. It's short, like it's. I bought it for $3. It was on discount, and I really enjoyed it. Some of the best voice acting out there. Believable. Rich and full with character and personality. And that ending. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to talk story because the game is literally basically kind of like point and click in a way. Not that much, more like you go from point A to point B, and along the way you try to solve small puzzles. Nothing that serious. After that, I finished that. I'm waiting now on part 2, which they just announced it. Can't wait to play that. I started a game called Steam World Dig. And yeah, at first I didn't enjoy it a lot, but then I enjoyed it a little bit normally, and I finished it, and now I'm playing Steam World Dig 2, and let me tell you, it's a huge improvement. It's like I made the analogy going from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2. That's how the difference is in the gameplay, but also quality of life in this game. It's like it's a metro. No, it's not. It's like it is a Metrovania, but it's not R&D generated. It's a map. You go through it, and yeah, you need to collect jewelry and go all the way down to the core of the earth, and it's really fun. If you're a fan of a game like Spelunky or stuff like that, maybe you'd enjoy this game. Give it a try. If you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber and you claim every PlayStation Plus game, then you should have Team War Dick 1 in your library. Give it a try.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. Let me see here. My guy, Pharaoh, man. What's going on with you, bro? I've been seeing on Twitter, man, Madden 22 is getting crushed. How's your take, man? Is it any better? Can it improve from a 30 from last year's rating?
I think it already did improve from that. I think it's at a 69 right now.
Really? But do you see the
I mean,
that
they're only
is,
coming from a cock-sucking company.
I mean that is an
Yeah,
improvement,
so,
but do you
it
see
is an improvement.
the fan base? Well, at least from what I saw from Madden players, they're like, "Yo, 22 is hot garbage." But like you being a big Madden guy, what's your take, man? Are they right to gripe, or is it an improvement like you say?
I do think that I don't necessarily say it's an improvement. There are things that I like that they did that I think are improvements, but like they got to fix the pass coverage. I think, because mainly me, I'm like a head-to-head guy, so like none of the other stuff matters. Like franchise doesn't matter, face of the franchise doesn't matter. I can't dive into those to those modes and really give you a critique.
Mm-hmm.
I can just give you like straight up gameplay. How's the gameplay? And the gameplay overall is solid, but they gotta fix some of them pass coverage issues because it's like
it's an AI thing, or it's just like it
feels like they tried to make it easier to score, and when they tried to make it easier to score, they broke the game.
I gotcha.
Like there's just some coverages where like dude will just not be covered at all every time. So it's just an easy touchdown.
Question. So, as a person who has not watched American football before, how many people is it a team, like on offense and defense?
11.
Is it like
It's 11. It's 22 people total on the field at a time.
Okay, so it's 20. So it's 22 a team.
21.
You know, the one thing I'm surprised they've not at least tested or tried, like, or baited, like, just the idea, a 11 versus 11 Madden mode.
The most they've done is 3-on-3.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they've not tried an 11 on 11. Like, everybody gets a member of the team and you play your role. Like, if you're a defense,
They have that in FIFA, and it works out. Like, that would be kind of. I mean, like, you'll be thinking like, who wants to play a lineman? But in FIFA, you're playing as center backs and fullbacks. So
who wants
forward?
Yeah.
Like, I just think, like, if they've tried it with FIFA, because I've not played FIFA since 2006, I think. Like, I'm just surprised they've not attempted that with Madden, because I mean, just imagine the fantasy football that could go on. Like, we talk, like, I know a lot of Americans are big into their fantasy football, so I'm just surprised that there's not that kind of concept in Madden. Like, you can get your group together, and you're like, oh, like, we're gonna start our own team on Madden and shit, and we're gonna call ourselves this and that, and you can play, and you are the best runner, so you play running back.
Yeah, you're
talking. You have some arcade modes. You have some. You have three. They did experiment with 3-on-3s.
Yeah, but what Dante's talking about is what they call in FIFA. They call them pro clubs, where you create an actual team with the team name. You can design the logo of your kit or jersey for the Americans, and you play against other people in rankings. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it would be great, but you would have to really, you'd have to really fine tune the offensive line versus defensive line play if you were going to have 11 guys on the field all the time.
Oh, like they've not got the money to
if it got any type of like overpowered like run play wise or something like that, like or like pass protection wise, it could get messy.
Well,
they'd have to really.
How they would do it, like at least how they did it in FIFA, is like, so the host or whoever's playing, one person, they call it any, right? Meaning whoever is not a human player, the any player could switch to that person, whether it be a lineman, whether it be a left receiver, or whatever there's not a human player, that person controls all of it. So it gives it somewhat of a balance. It's not ideal or perfect if you don't have 11v11. Maybe you have 8 and you're going like 5v5 or 6v6 or whatever it is, and the any's playing everybody else. But it does. I don't know, it does make the game at least a little bit more enjoyable rather than having a computer player coming and playing and getting
It's also something new to the series as well. Like, everybody bits and complains that nothing changes, but like they've tried something new with a different series. Why not bring that over to your other series? I mean, what's gonna happen? You're gonna put out a mode that, like, probably in one game, if no one gives a shit about it, it's gonna be gone the next year anyway. Mm-hmm. And like, it's not like you're gonna lose any fucking money because you make hand over fist with the fucking microtransactions and shit.
That's true.
If 3-on-3 was got more play, I think they would expand it. But nobody really does 3-on-3. Like I've played like 2 or 3 3-on-3 games in like 7 years. It's been out for a while. Like, but people just really don't use the 3-on-3. So
right. But Pharaoh, for me being a FIFA guy, like I'm saying, like if they just did 3-on-3 FIFA, it wouldn't be as fun either. But the most fun is when you literally have a full team, right? Where like everyone is accountable. So if we did it in Madden, just 11, because it's still 11v11, just like in well, I don't know, is it 11 football players on the pitch?
I think it's less than that.
I think a little bit less.
Wait, hold on.
So
one goalie, 2 defenders, 2 front, 2 forwards.
I think
no, it's 11.
I think they could do it. I think they could do it. I just think it would take a lot of fine tuning. On the offensive and defensive line part, and probably at defensive back too, because it'd be so easy to get open on a guy playing man coverage or a team playing man coverage.
You think really? And that's why I'm saying
no, because I've done the 3-on-3. I've done the 3-on-3, and I've had like somebody playing wide receiver and someone playing corner, and like it's easy to decimate them. So it will require a lot of fine tuning.
It absolutely destroys the computer.
I've done 3-on-3. So like there's been a guy playing corner and I've been playing wide receiver, and like you could dust them like pretty easily. Like it would take a lot of fine tuning. I'm not saying that it can't be done or that it wouldn't be fun or something like that. I'm just saying they'd have to change the game a lot. They'd have to almost like NBA 2K. Like if you play NBA 2K, there's like so many different moves that you can do with your player.
Right.
They'd have to do that damn near for every single position, like with the hand punching and all that other stuff, just to make it so that it's more strategic.
But like Dante said, they should. Like they have the money. Why can't
I'm not against it.
They do it in FIFA.
Against it. I'm just saying. I'm not against it. I'm just saying it would be cool. Have to do a lot.
That would bring me back really to play, so I could just talk shit.
I would actually, for the first time, if they actually said we're gonna have 11-on-11, kid you not, hand on my heart and swear to fucking God, I would buy my first Madden game.
With the development cycle that they have to go through, I think that would be like at least a 5-year integration. Like it's not something they could decide to do overnight. Like if it's something that they're planning on doing, they'd have to start like working on that now, because they had like features like back in the day where like if you were running a run play, you could take over a offensive lineman and you could like do your own block.
I remember that.
I remember that too. But imagine like say Jube is playing. So for how they would work, how I envision it, right? You have your skill players right, on the offense, they would also be the skill players on defense, the corners, safeties, and stuff like that. That way it's easy. Like when it's defense, you play those positions. The offensive line, you also play the interior DTs, and on defense, the tight ends would play the defensive end. You know what I mean? Stuff like it's just the running backs would be linebackers. It was just switched like that. And imagine you're doing a pull or a toss, and then you're pulling one of your linemen, right? And you're like Jube's pulling around. And then like just completely pancake somebody, another human being on the other side. You know how much trash talking would ensue from that? Like that's those moments is what makes the game. That's why the pro clubs in FIFA is so popular, is because
and think about this. Think about the evolution of what would happen with I know it probably would not be. I mean. Madden is already a decently sized esports thing, but imagine if you actually had 11v11 teams. Imagine Imagine you'd get legit esports teams for Madden.
And and I mean, like I said, I think if they did it, it'd take at least another 5 years of development.
I agree though.
Yeah.
Another thing they'd have to do is that the receivers have to run the route. Because if players can just run wherever the hell they want and the quarterback can throw it, that would get messy really fast.
That's why you need human rushers. You're not going to have all day to throw it.
Oh, no, I do agree.
It doesn't matter if you have all day to throw it, but if you can run some real, like I said, if you're doing man-to-man coverage and...
He's talking about free running. You can't have them run outside of the designated player because then it would just fuck everything up. I think there should be... There should be a sense of leeway when it... Hold on, give me a second. There should be a sense of leeway when it comes to that, just for the simple fact of, a play can't account for everything, so you've got to add that human element to it.
Right.
I think if the quarterback's been in the pocket for a while, you should have an opening where you can kind of freelance, trying to make a play type shit. At some point, the route stops mattering. So I can see that.
You have to be able to run you have to run the route, and you don't have to run it perfectly like a computer would, but you have to be in the area that the ball's supposed to be. It's not you're not gonna be oh, this is a comeback, but I'm gonna run a fly route and the quarterback's just gonna throw it to me, because it just unless it's hot routed that way or something like that, it just I said, it would get messy. You have to actually at least be in the area of what the play is called, where I can see it getting kind of messy.
Or I mean, I get it. You can also do something you have to do it. The play is called unless you're audible, and the game can kind of put you on autopilot if you're not going into that.
Yeah, because it would have to penalize you for freelancing. Because if there's 11 guys on the field just freelancing, it'd get messy. They'd have to.
I was gonna say how they did it in FIFA. How they did it in FIFA. Whatever position you're playing, whatever tactic
you're kind of stuck in a box there.
Well, not necessarily, because you can make it defensive. You could do inverted wingers. You could swap wings, and there's a ticker. Because I played a lot of single player career mode, so it's a thing where it's you have to be around this area. If not, you're gonna lose points. Or you got to make you know what I mean. You got to be efficient. And if you're not efficient in wherever you're at, I'm playing. For instance, if I'm a defender in FIFA, and I'm over there constantly trying to get a goal and trying to be near the striker, I'm gonna lose a lot of fucking points, every tick, I'm losing points. Where at the end of the game, they get rated on man of the match being from 0 to 10, right? And you can see someone who's not efficient, you're a center back, and your rating is a 5 because your ass was getting beat by dribbles, or you're just not in position. That'd be something like that via Madden, where it's you're a receiver, but you're constantly offsides, or you're constantly deferring from the play that's called by the quarterback, and you're freestyling, you're gonna lose points. And then overall, that's how you get rated. Who's the top receivers? You know what I mean? Route running would be key, because you have to know your routes and know how to do it. Otherwise, you're gonna get penalized. That's just something.
I think it'd do it, but like I said, it would take at least another 5 years. It would take 5 years to develop, because they don't have a traditional development cycle.
No. So 8 months or 6 months.
Question: When do you think it was removed? When do you when you said you could switch to a particular player like a linebacker? When do you think the last game that had that?
I think you can still do 3-on-3. I think, and ultimate.
No. He's talking about when you pull a lineman, and you become the lineman to do a block.
Oh, when they got rid of that, man, they got rid of that back.
Wasn't that Lewis? Was it Raven? Raven cover?
I mean, you could. I think it was.
Oh,
It was
it would be
back
the
in
fucking
Xbox.
Ravens.
It was on. It was back in the Xbox 360 days. I know that much for sure. It hasn't been like. It wasn't on. It wasn't on PS4 and Xbox One. You weren't your own run blocker then. I know that much. It's been a while.
Gotcha. All right, we'll move on, man.
That was one of the better features.
Yeah, it was. All right, we'll move on, man. My guy Zero, what you been up to, my G? Have you
going on?
Have you conquered the Pokemon Dota scene?
I'm not. I'm still working my way through. I still slapping people up with Jigglypuff though, so like he's definitely my favorite character. I kind of I hit a wall, and I was just having the worst teammates, and I was getting really frustrated. So I was like, all right, let me just back away for a second. Like,
welcome to the world of Dota. As you get too fucking deep into it, you will start hitting your teammates regardless if they fuck up.
You know, it's like I'm sitting here running with a Gengar. He's in my lane. I'm like, why are you laning? You should be in the jungle. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming after Dreadnought when it's time, and like.
That's their freelancer we're talking about. That's why they need ranks.
They have rank.
That's rank.
The fucking noobs.
Wait, that was a rank game, and you have people not in the jungle. Oh, I'd flip out.
Yeah, because like to be fair, like
especially as a mid laner, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you in support lane?
Yeah, but like to be fair, like it's Pokemon, and it's free, and so there are a lot of people who've never played a MOBA or have no experience, because like League and Dota can be intimidating, and so it's Pokemon is the easier version of it. But it's still they really need to fix Zapdos, because at this point nothing else in the game matters until like the last 5 minutes. And if you kill Zapdos, everyone gets 50 points. It opens up the opposing team's goal, so you can immediately score, and the scores are double. So it's an instant fight. It's an instant. If on a team of 5, it's an instant 500, which just shifts the game completely. And it's like, come on, man! Like if they can fix Zapdos, I think it'll be still pretty solid. So I'm working my way through. When you get a team that's just vibing, like it's wonderful. But when you get a team that's garbage, it's like I think I just want to quit. I don't want to play right now.
I don't want to be here anymore.
When it comes to like those type of games, it's very easy to get snowballed.
Very easy.
When it's snowball season, it's a wrap.
Yeah, and fortunately they have like a surrender thing, so like hit the buttons, like let's just next match, please. So I'm working on that. Of course, Destiny 2 is back, baby.
Boom.
I am back in the world of Destiny.
Hey, Zero, I need your shit. I need to add you, bro. I'll add you right now. Post that shit.
I think you did actually, but if not, we did. Yeah, because I couldn't figure out how to get the Bungie thing to work. But
I finally got it to work. I
see Jubei Thotton on Twitter talking about Lord COD. Can I join your clan?
Hey man, so, Destiny 2 is probably in the best state it's been in a long time. So as a lapsed Destiny player, my major focus here has always been on the story. I am so very intrigued with the story.
Yeah.
And like,
it's getting good.
Unfortunately, all of the best stories have revolved around the Hive, who are just, for our Halo people, they're essentially the Flood.
Oh, interesting.
But what's annoying about the Hive is they were a lesser character for so fucking long, and then suddenly became the big ones. Like the worst part is they're not even the most interesting fucking enemies in the Grimoire either. The Cabal have always been the more interesting. I mean, for fuck's sake, again, like, and we've said this before about having a look at the Grimoire to learn your backstory in Destiny. These fuckers use moons as weapons.
This is true, and they have the whole Roman thing going on, and Callus is kind of fantastic. However,
they look like what would happen if Bungie got a hold of the fucking 40K license.
Yeah, I could see that 100%. But I've always been, personally, I'm partial to the Vex, but I think that the Hive has the best, because, like, particularly when the Book of Sorrows, aka a bunch of Grimoire cards, dropped. it told the entire history of the Hive and like what they're about and like how they started, how they ended up where they are, and they gave us our 3 major Hive bosses, which is Oryx, was it Shura Wrath and
Savathun,
the Witch Queen, Savathun, who is the current like boss coming up now. It is Oryx's sister, but the Taken King was one of the best expansions.
And that was Oryx.
Yeah,
and you only got Taken King because you kicked his son's ass, and he had to come. He had to come say what's up.
All right, enough of the nerd loving of Destiny 2, man. What else you got, man?
I mean, other than that, it's great to have to see Destiny use a solid battle pass system. Nothing weird like whatever Halo's going on.
Oh, here we go.
Did you notice in
Go ahead, Jue.
Did you notice in PvP, like you can now see people's like stats and shit?
Yep.
Like
love it.
like that is a fantastic fucking thing. Yeah. Sorry.
And now that I have the PS5, I guess I'm playing it in what is it, 60?
Yep.
Yes, you are.
So
welcome to fucking paradise.
You can
I've waited for you for a long time.
So hold on. So you're trying to tell me you can now see people's PvP stats and it is now finally in 60? Oh my god, Bungies are gods.
You can see PvP stats right before the match starts. Like you can see people's KD and like what their main shit is.
A concept of multiplayer games. Who would have knew?
And like, hey man, listen. When Halo, I sure hope they fix the Halo Battle Pass system.
You can't even talk. It's not out yet. I don't want no slander. No slander until it's out.
If I say FC, don't shoot for the king yet.
King? Wait, hold on. Let me Google when Destiny 2 launched because it's just amazing to me. This is the Apple crowd. Oh my God, Apple phones have folders. Like what the fuck? Like where you been? Let me see, man. Destiny 2 launched.
I want to say 2016.
16 or 17?
Might be 18.
No, 17. September 6th.
18 was 2.
September
18 was 2.
September 6th, 2017. And now you're just now telling me that the game is 60 frames and that you can now see people's PvP stats.
On console.
I mean, it was 60 frames on PC,
cool.
but it was just console.
Cool story.
And everybody arguing about
crossplay yet.
Yes, crossplay.
Thank fuck, now I can add you losers and actually play with you now. Because what I want to do, seeing as I can't do Destiny 1 with everybody, when I eventually do a roleplay live of that on my stream, I'd actually like to get a full fucking squad for Destiny 2, like fresh start all the way through.
I'm down.
But I'll need to buy all the fucking expansions, and Jesus Christ, I don't have that money.
I'm not doing that shit.
It's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
It's free in Game Pass, right? The expansion.
Not all of them. The new one. The new one isn't.
Up to Beyond Light, and then you got to buy the new one.
Yeah.
But if you got the collector's, the deluxe edition of Beyond Light, you're playing for this season anyway. I always get the deluxe editions. Like I got the next one pre-ordered already.
Jube does not care, man. He burns his money, okay? But anyway,
it's not a burning of money. Like I mean, I'm getting value out of it. You feel me?
He has Xbox pajamas and fucking keyboards and all types of shit.
He's not lying. I've seen him.
And otherwise, that's mostly been it, man. Oh well, I asked Dante offline about Hollow Knight because I got it myself, so I'll be playing it again on PlayStation. I've already run through it on the Switch.
Nice.
So I'll be playing it on, frankly, a larger screen because I was mostly playing it in a handheld. So I'm intrigued how it's gonna go. I love that. Probably still one of my favorite games. Just a delightful, adorable Dark Souls type of thing.
Am I the only one that's hearing echo?
No.
Not from me, homie. You are the only one hearing echo.
And I was muted. I'm not hearing no echo.
Yeah, no, it must be you. Just
It's all in your head, man. I keep telling you, get help.
Unplug and replug. All right, that's what's up.
And I was playing Neo 2 and had to take a break. Because just like in Neo, and I knew it because all games have them.
Extract this asshole about why.
Basically.
No, the difficulty is fine. Like Neo's not a difficult game. However, I think as I'm getting older, my arachnophobia is getting worse.
Oh.
And so I have a big problem with the spiders in that game. In a way that I didn't used to have, and it was like. Let me just stop for a second.
I'm not gonna front, bro. That blob mode in Grounded saved my life. I'm not gonna front. That's what it is.
Man, I don't like
Lava.
spiders either, but I ain't afraid of digital fake spiders on, you know what I mean? On the
Nah,
console,
I'm good.
bro.
I'm good.
Can't do it, man. Like
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know what I had the longest time trying to get through Limbo, just because that thing was chasing me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zero, when did you surrender your manhood?
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
curious.
I'm gonna do
Ever since
shadow
spiders
puppets with
started eating birds.
spiders, dog.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's wild.
They've been
That's
eating birds since time
That's
time
wild.
fucking immemorial.
All right, we
And
got,
then
if you're- if
I've been
you're-
afraid of them for forever. All
Yeah.
right, they're
you're
wrong.
afraid
They're
of spiders.
they're sins against nature. They have too many eyes, too many legs.
spiders are
They're
alright,
furry.
man.
they're
Snakes are
big.
way worse. I'm
Snakes
gonna-
are adorable.
What?
What are you talking
That's
about?
awesome.
Hey,
hell no.
FC, do you want me to go and get my snake?
No, thank
Snakes
you.
are
I actually like
adorable.
snakes.
Yeah,
How do
they're,
you-
they're wonderful.
Go.
How do you like
Go look
snakes?
at
They're
things
devil's
praying
creatures.
mantises kill.
All right.
I don't
They're
know.
like, they're smooth
They're
too, with
poisonous
like
to
little
stay
black
away.
eyes. Yeah, they're like lizards with no legs.
No, disgusting. They're abomination for a reason.
You speak one more ill word about snakes.
I'm
I will
sorry,
have
man.
your
Listen,
head.
man. They're Hades
I always
pets. Hades pets for a reason. All right. But that's what's up, man. As Reggie, confesses his love to Destiny 2 and then also his hate for spiders. We're gonna move on. My guy, Kofi, man, what you been up to, my G?
Not too much, guys. Finally closing out my go through of my expensive version of Judge Eyes. I spent I lied to you not. I spent more than $100 on this version because of the whole, actor that was removed. So I wanted to experience this version of the game. I think I'm in chapter, it's either 12 or 13. So I know, I'm pretty sure 13 is the final chapter. And then, guys, there are some really good indie sales going on in the PlayStation Store. So I lied to you not, I think I spent like $45 on like 8 games.
What'd you get?
Some of these games is like a Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all remember that game?
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
That's
It's kind of like, that game is really fun. One that one that Omar and I were talking about is called Iconoclasts, which looks really, really
You
good.
didn't have it on PlayStation Plus?
Oh, Hyper.
No,
yeah,
Iconoclast?
Okay, yeah. I've seen this game.
This one
Guacamelee
is
2.
genuinely great. Play it.
Yeah,
enjoy
Iconoclast
it.
looks amazing. Like it's
It's
got
amazing.
a lot of lore from what I've seen. I picked up so much stuff. Well, here's one thing. It made me think of UFC because it's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine that I know will bore the heck out of people, but it was on sale for just like $11. And I'll give a little background. Growing up, I was a huge fan of Sim Tower. SimCity was great, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Sim Tower was like my thing. I was obsessed. And apparently there's a final like spiritual successor, not by Maxis, called Mad Tower Tycoon. And it came out like early last year on Steam, and it came out on consoles like
Wait,
right when the new consoles
Hold on.
launched.
I don't think I ever played. What's the difference between Sim Tower and Sim City?
Oh, SimCity is like literally like you build a whole city. Sim Tower is like you
Right.
own a hotel. Just the hotel. And patrons go in and out, and you entertain them.
So
In layman's terms, it's Hotel Tycoon.
Well, I was gonna say that. So like it's a Hotel Tycoon. Okay, that's what.
And that's the thing. So this
Okay.
game is called Mad Tower Tycoon. Apparently, it's done really well in people who are all the posts are people who are spending hours and hours playing it, and they call Hotel Tycoon. I think the Tycoon series, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, that's also a really good one.
Me,
that
bro.
that
You already
love.
know. I already beat Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I think I'm
love
playing like the
Tycoon.
second one, like way
I
back.
need another role. I need an updated like theme park.
Dude,
theme park game.
Jurassic Park, the RTS.
No.
I just
like,
beat that.
No, the
that
one
was
where
good.
you can create like your own fucking theme park and run it,
that's,
and then explore it in first person, go on all the rides and
Yeah,
shit.
that's
Like I want
Scream something. Xbox.
no,
has
it's
that.
literally called theme park.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. There's a theme park one as well, and then there's a Paradise one. I haven't tried it yet.
No. FC.
Pico?
The name of it is literally called theme park.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking of another one that's like theme park based.
And one other one I'll mention, because I really think it's an underrated gem. Omar and I also will talk about this, is SteamWorld Dig 2. The first one
Omar
was
just
on
talked
PlayStation
about
Plus.
it. Yeah, he just.
Oh, he
talked
did?
about
I'm
it.
sorry,
Yeah,
Omar. Yeah, I jumped in late. So, Omar, yeah, I did end up getting that as well as the game that was 90% off. I mean, I couldn't turn it down. It's called Shadow Tactics.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah, it's an amazing game.
Yeah, it's like an isometric kind of like assassin, like Tenchu, but like with the isometric kind of view.
I highly recommend Desperados 3. It's from the same developers,
Oh.
but in a cowboy.
Yeah, it's like a cowboy version. I played a little bit. It's not bad. And
So,
and kudos to you for trying out them I don't know what they call it. What they call it? It's not really simulation. That style of simulation. Because when you run
kind of
like economy,
maybe like 2 Point Hospital, something like this, like on a lighter note.
No,
I love those type of games.
Yeah,
like
I used to be obsessed.
What cool, like Commando.
One other game I want to bring up because it just came out, and I feel like there's so many things going under the radar. It's like a Resident Evil 1 inspired game called Tormented Souls. Have you guys seen this?
I've seen it. I also saw you retweeted. I believe it was one of the developers saying a big hearty thank you to everybody in their support for Tormented Souls getting, I think, was like an 89 on Metacritic.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. They were doing what? Yeah. So that's also the other thing. Baldo just came up.
Yeah.
Baldo the Guardian Owls, which looks like a like Legend of Zelda crossed with Ni no Kuni, which
I saw that. That looks good.
That looks good. Apparently, it was made by 2 guys over 15 years. Wow. So it's kind of like rough around the edges. I did a lot of research. Yeah. I'm really torn on all these different games coming out, but I wanted to highlight Tormented Souls. It looks really good, guys. I think it's only $20 on Xbox, Switch, PlayStation, and I know there's a demo on PlayStation. I'm going to assume there's a demo everywhere else. So check it out. It's just got this creepy horror kind of thing, female main character. The graphics are pretty good. I mean, I don't know what Switch looks like, but I would say check out Tormented Souls if you're looking like for a horror kind of Resident Evil 1 kind of game.
Nice. I might need to check that out because I really, really want to get the medium as well.
Oh yeah, that too.
I need to get some. I need some horror games in my fucking life.
Nice. All right, man. That's what's
I
up,
need to
man.
finish the medium, but it's pretty solid.
I gotta finish up.
I made like 6 hours.
Nice.
All right. Last but not least, I don't know. Jubei came in a little bit later, man. What you got going on, Jubei? Before we move on to the topic.
Just been playing Psychonauts. I hopped on Dante's stream earlier today.
Man, it's so damn good.
Shall we also tell them about how you complained as well? I want to play Halo 2. I want to play Halo 2 until I finally gave in and let you play. And I specifically put on Halo and specifically playlisted Halo 2.
Yeah, it was fun though. Like, Halo 2 is easily the best game in that Master Chief Collection suite. Like, for real, it is. Multiplayer wise, it's the shit.
That's still my favorite multiplayer is Halo 2. Well, one of them.
Yeah,
some might
it's great.
say the best game of the series.
One of the older.
I would agree.
It's a little slow now though, but
yeah. It's not slow.
Slow to me.
I don't know. Halo 2 Anniversary looks pretty, but like, I don't know. I prefer. I don't know. I feel like Halo 3 has just tighter shooting, especially when it comes to grouping on the weapons.
No, he's
Maybe.
right. He's right. Halo 3 weapons are better.
Okay.
But
I'll give it to you.
Let's move.
But now I just hit my favorite level so far in Psychonauts, and I'm.
Where you at?
I just finished the acid trip level.
Yeah, that's actually a really good level.
That's a dope ass level, yo. Like
that's one
that
thing.
and the cooking show.
Their level design. Whoever's the creative director for the level design needs a raise because they did a good job. Because every
whoever put in those real portals deserves a raise.
That's also pretty. They did a good job. The game is fantastic, and the story is pretty good too.
I'm having more fun playing this than I did playing Ratchet and Clank for real. Right. And I was done with Ratchet and Clank way before.
Hold on. I don't want to bash Ratchet. I like Ratchet.
And I'm just saying it's short, and this game is more fun.
Ratchet gameplay is fun.
I enjoyed it,
but the story's kind of and the worlds are kind of compared to.
And the writing is kind of meh.
Yeah,
Psychonauts writing be on point.
It's more mature.
Disrespect. You better respect them riffs.
I'm not trying to get into that argument. I'm just saying, like, for those who played both, and I beat Ratchet and you beat Ratchet, like the Psychonauts a little bit more. It looks more cartoony in a sense, but the themes are more adult themed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think the story probably has a little bit more polish because the guy who was making it had a lot more time to think about what he wanted to do with that. While it was getting crowdfunded.
Right.
Tim Schafer had that pen for a long time, and I won't take it away from Tim Schafer. Tim Schafer can write a good story.
The story is good. The story is good. It's mature. It makes you think. It's really good.
Just again, a reminder: this is the same guy who worked on the Monkey Island series. Yeah. He worked on Full Throttle. He worked on Grim Fandango. Like the man, he cut his teeth in like point and click adventure games and shit. Like he knows.
Or you needed a story. You needed a story.
Yeah. So like
he knows.
Try it out for those like don't like to me like I have it on the Series X and it doesn't my eyes aren't like crying. Like the game looks good to me. Like I don't know, it just works. I don't know, even though it looks like it's an older game, but it just
no, but like look at like the textures and shit on it. Like there's some moments that look really fucking good.
That's
and
what I mean.
I'm playing it in the 120. I'm playing in the 120 frames mode. So
me too.
I'm not even playing in 4K, and it looks good.
Me
it
too.
looks great.
That's what I'm saying. It's if you're playing on the Series X, I guess it would be just the Series X. Sorry, I was gonna say PS5. Obviously the textures and stuff are elevated and it looks good. It actually does look good. So definitely check it out.
You want to know one of the more glowing things I heard about it from a friend of mine who was as critical about the kind of politics that I am as well. Do you want to know one of the more glowing things I heard that actually made me take back and was like, really? Tim Schafer did that? So Jack Black's character, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way he was described to me as a gay hippie Viking. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
And the fact that it is not shoved in your face either, like it's a passing mention, it's a part of his character, but it's not his entire character.
Yeah, it was very subtle. Like it was just, it didn't define the character. It's just another part of it. And like it was good.
I didn't even know he was gay until I got to one part of the scene. I was like, oh shit.
Exactly. Yeah, like, oh, okay.
But that's the thing. That's kind of made me gain a little respect for Tim Schafer. Because he's not gone down the road, and we'll get into this later.
We're about to get into
he's not gone down that road of like shoving it down your fucking throat.
We're about to get into it. But before we get into that, though, I want to just talk about the update of Sun Wukong. Have you guys seen the the update
trailer?
The newer trailer? Anyone
Black
here?
Myth?
Yeah, Black Myth.
You talking about Black Myth?
I call it Sun Wukong. I don't know. I guess it's
Isn't that what they're calling Tyrone Woodley now?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, I'm fucking weak.
Wow. Yeah, he got sunned, all right. Oh Lord.
To get out of somehow.
I'm not black today. I'm Filipino.
He's never been all that of a fighter. Like he's never impressed me, even in his UFC like heydays. Like he fights, but he's like he doesn't want to fight you. He just wants to hit you with that right hand. Like he does everything to avoid.
It's embarrassing, bro.
Actually fighting.
There's a new trailer. Well, let's forget about that, dude. Let's talk about what is going on in China right now. I feel like I've been saying it before, man. This is the next wave of ideas of gamers not gamers, developers and stories that were gonna be coming from China. And from what we see so far, there's another game too that I saw that looked good. But from this game, it looks pretty damn polished for gamers that are in the West that don't know too much about Chinese developers. And I can't wait to try this game. Go ahead.
No, do you want to know the one thing that hurts me about these Chinese developers?
What's that?
Someone's gonna fucking think I'm gaslighting or some shit. I wish they had brought their talents over to a country where they're not subjected to a totalitarian fucking communist dictatorship. So that they could create all of this and I could support them.
I see. So you're on the political stance of this game.
Yeah, like and that's the worst thing. I've got nothing against these developers. I'm sure these developers are like the sweetest fucking human beings I'd want to have a drink with. But like, and it's harsh on them. But the problem, and it's not something they could control, unfortunately. But like, they live in a country that literally is a communist goddamn dictatorship that is currently fucking over millions of lives in Hong Kong.
It's not just Hong Kong, not just Hong Kong. I mean, I don't want to get into it.
And Wuhan, yeah, and in the other provinces.
Yeah.
I won't go into them as well. But again, because the worst thing is in some way that government will profit off of these games.
I mean that's true, but I mean like that could very well be the case. But I try to separate the country that they're in and with just the actual art that the developers can do under those circumstances. For instance, like the story of Sun Wukong. So, I'm sorry, Reggie, you about to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
sorry.
My
view, by the way, just in case there's anybody out there, these are my views and not anybody else's of the panel. So if you want to send your little bitchy mail, send it to me because I won't read it.
Not a problem. You could always also send PayPal and I can read it out loud. Let me go ahead, Omar. And I was that's why I got a little sensitive because like I know. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, my thing when it comes to this is it's such a difficult topic to me. I would just rather focus on the games and video games aspect of it and just leave the country aside, because if you're actually gonna focus on what every country is doing, you would be boycotting almost the entire, not per se world, but like most countries have blood on their hands.
That is a straw man, and like I'm just gonna say it's a straw man. Okay, I'm sorry because I don't see concentration camps in America. I don't see concentration camps in fucking.
Well, we did.
Hold
on, Jube, go ahead, Jube.
I know where this is going.
That's why 80 years ago. Yeah. Like we had concentration camps in the fucking United States of America. If you were Japanese, it was a fucking thing.
I live in a state where they have them, and they have them. They have the thing. I don't want to. Let's not go political, please. Omar is Muslim. He has every right to say what he says too, because Chinese are doing some fucked up shit to Muslims. So that's why I didn't want to go there.
No, it's not even just the Chinese. It's almost every country.
Yeah.
You name it, they have bloodshed. They have innocent blood on their hands.
That's true. But
right now. So, if you're actually going to think, okay, we're gonna boycott, like, without games, we're gonna play. From which country we're gonna play? We can't play games from China. We can't play games from Japan. We can't play games from USA. And I can name more countries that have genuinely blood on their hands right now.
But let's not go there. Dante said his piece, and that's fair. You respect it or don't. That's his piece. But let's try to stray from that, and then let's think of the game. And because the main reason why I want to push this is it's gonna leeway into the next topic where it comes to diversity, right? I'm excited because this is a new story. You know what I mean? And I'm half Asian, even though I'm not Chinese. I like to see new stories, even though I've read about Sun Wukong, but just to be able to play in a mythical way in a God of War-ish type of vibe, it's cool as fuck to me because there'll be more stuff like this.
It looks fucking incredible.
And then you can see the inspiration behind shit like Dragon Ball and shit like to be able to like see
exactly.
You can see it,
and that's what I'm focused on. Because I'm trying to stay away from the political stuff. But if you have those, I'm not gonna knock you like Dante. But at the same time, you also like Omar. You're like, that's his piece. So let's just keep it moving. Let's just be respectful here. So anyone else like what's your thoughts after seeing these gameplay? On Sun Wukong, are you excited or are you anticipating more stuff from China or what?
This fucking looks amazing. It's like this is genuinely going to be something special if they manage to pull it off.
They have a lot of publicity now, so I'm curious. Hopefully
but Kofi said it once. I don't know if it's on this podcast or a different podcast. All you need to look at is Lost Soul aside. Look where we are with that game right now. We have yet to get it. And
that's true.
With Sun Wukong, apparently Yeah, with also what's happening with, I think they have an work agreement with Tencent.
Oh God.
I
Yeah,
am
he
not
got.
sure. I think I'm not sure about that. I need to look it up. Either Tencent or Epic Games. I know they have agreement with one company. I know that for sure. They have a work agreement with one company, but the game is coming to all consoles and PC, and well, not the Switch, but that. But this game, I just can't wait. From what I've seen, the amount of skills that you're gonna be able to use, the boss fight, like you can literally see in the trailer, what more like the gameplay. He botched it the first time when he tried to make his pole grow
Extend
larger.
pole, yeah.
He didn't extend it in time, and he got hit by the electricity. Like there is that type of mechanic, dodge, fighting bosses, and the boss look fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah, Chinese
And the
dragon,
game,
yeah.
yeah, from what we have seen, also the game almost look like uh, a lot in development. It's not like we need to wait 2-3 years for it. I have the feeling maybe next year we might
Next year,
hear
probably,
more
yeah.
from it.
Let's hope, man.
Yeah.
I
What,
want to
Wukong?
play
Wukong?
this. Yeah, Black Myth, yep. Because they're showing a lot of gameplay now. I'm hoping it launches next year.
Yeah,
Do
you
you
can
mind-
literally see more places, more stuff.
I don't have any. Sorry, I don't want to talk out of. I don't know.
No, go ahead.
Omar.
You're
I
asking.
don't mean to-
No, I'm
Okay.
done. Go ahead.
So I keep close tabs with my good friend Akira, and only.
Yeah, he was
through
supposed
him,
to join us today, and
Oh, was
he
he?
is nowhere here. So
I know
Yes.
because he's in Japan. That means it's what,
Oh,
9 o'clock,
yeah, it's
10
just-
o'clock.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
Maybe he's
Yeah.
going to work.
okay.
He has some friends who live in China and translate news about Wukong to him.
Oh, that's
And I can't write this in stone, so don't take this for granted. But my understanding is they're aiming for 2023,
dope. Oh, okay.
and I
Wow,
think
it's a
for
polish
me,
it.
like that's the like I almost feel like I won't say that. But
just want to
like for
say
me,
one
I
thing.
think when I hear 2023, I go, okay, like there's a lot of other things I'm really excited for. It
Yeah.
looks amazing, and like you guys are saying, not only like the variety of bosses and the types of encounters, the skills that seem to match up for weaknesses for each of those bosses, some of the environments, like when Son Goku is spinning the staff and like the leaves mix around his staff. When he's fighting in the snow, it feels very immersive. One thing I constantly think of is this particular character is so highly praised in many cultural circles in China that they just want this game to be great. It has nothing to do with like them publishing it on time or trying to make some sort of deadline like time-wise. Obviously, there is something like that in the greater sense, but for them to kind of be like, hey, we're showing all this now, it's not out forever, reminds me of so many other, not just Chinese, but Korean devs. One game that came out forever ago that like was the first time I realized how long development cycles can be for other East Asian countries, it was Kingdom Under Fire 2. Does anybody remember this game? Which never came out in the West. It was first announced, I think it was first announced for the first Xbox, if I can remember correctly.
Never
and it was just
fucking
never
happened.
done. I'm like, this game, it literally looked like what Dynasty Warriors could become with like environmental damage and like over the top moves, very different dynamic moves. AI was much more like crazy. There was much more going on. You know,
there was magazine articles and shit about the shit. It just never fucking happened. It never happened.
It just never freaking came out. And then like another one that is actually coming out, God bless, is this is from Korea, so kind of like anecdote, but it's called what's it called? Lost Ark. And the reason it's finally coming to the West, because it's been out for 2 years in Korea, is that Amazon picked it up to be released on Steam. So it's supposed to come out this year with a whole bunch of updates since the Korean release, and it's also available in Russia and Japan, but I think Japan has IP block on it. But it was just like I never believed that game was going to come out. in the West. So I guess I'm just kind of used to it. And when I think 2023, I'm just like, I can't get super high. Like I admire Akira because he's like, he tweets the videos all the time, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't sit here for 2 years and just be like.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure a lot of that has to do with the so many games getting delayed into 2022. Like a new IP doesn't want to compete with all of that. I think that's probably a little bit of it.
You're probably right.
I mean, off the top of my
perfectionist.
I'm gonna say off the top of my head, like God of War is like supposed to be 2021, 2022. So I mean, it's not gonna go against that. Hopefully, so I don't know.
God of War's coming out 2023. Stop giving false hope.
Listen, man.
Really quick. Wait, hold on. Let me keep it with Wukong. Another thing that was interesting that Akira told me was one of the lead creators in the game apparently did not come up to standard for the product that they were creating. So they got rid of him and replaced him.
Jeez.
And there's obviously how would you say there's deep like the roster's deep for dev talent, I'm assuming. Another anecdote that I'll kind of give is I'm a big fan of the Olympics. This is kind of like out of pocket. I'm sorry, but one thing I see at the Olympics is that the Chinese are really good at diving, right? Yeah. Every year they'll have like some 16-year-old getting like perfect scores. In fact, this last Tokyo Games, it was some it was 60-year-old literally got like a perfect score like 7 times. Never happened, right? You know the crazy thing? For the last 4 Olympics, the youngest person to come never comes back. They always got some random 15-year-old just winning, and then you never see them again. That's the kind of energy I feel like is coming out of like the high skill, high production in the culture in China. I mean, that's just me observing as a consumer or like in sports or other competitive things. So whoever's leading this project with Wukong, it's going to be a banger. I just wanted to throw that out there.
This is gonna either make or break this game, because if this game doesn't succeed, people are not gonna trust China anymore.
That's a good.
Because
that's a stretch.
No. I agree with Omar.
I will explain why.
Go ahead.
All you need to look at again is Lost Soul aside. The hype contained around this game, and we have not gotten this game yet. And it's crazy that it still got delayed. How many times it got delayed? Like, this game was supposed to come out in either 2019 or 20. And we're now 21 and we're going to 22. And other than that, I just want to say, Tencent acquired minority stake in Game Science, the developer of Black Myth, Wukong. So Tencent it is.
Which could be beneficial for them, because I agree with...
the problem is Tencent just now got destroyed by the Chinese government.
Which is going to be a huge challenge for them, but like I think Tencent will be fine regardless. And particularly, I think people are going to be a bit more lenient towards these developers because they are out of China. And as Dante alluded to earlier, like, we kind of know how difficult it can be over there. Like, they're not working in like America. Over here.
No, I don't think so, man, because people are going after people in Eastern Europe and those games, any type of fault. Like, I don't see that. Gamers are gonna nitpick regardless.
Interactive, like, to create interactive entertainment in China is a huge mountain to climb because of the views of that country and games and things like that. So
And in addition to, and this, Kofi, I'm curious if your friend knows about it. And of course, the one time we talk about something Chinese, Micah's not here, so I can't.
I know.
Because I'd have had him join the show tonight. But I believe it happened today. A friend of ours who lived in China for the last year and just came back.
Wow.
But I think it just dropped today. China is limiting the amount of hours that people under 18 can play video games.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's or particularly online games. Like, that's going to have a huge. What I wonder if that's going to what type of effect that's going to have on their gaming industry.
Didn't they
You
have
had
something going about about gaming cafes as well?
That's Korea.
I think they did.
Korea and Japan, I know have them, but
No. I mean in China, like they wanted to do something about those as well, like the gaming cafes in China. They wanted to.
Yeah,
I don't think they wanted to shut them down, but I think limit them or something.
Yes, their team video game addiction, and so like things like internet cafes, where people, I mean, a lot of people do spend a lot of time at these places. However, with the friend, some of them is just how it works out in a very specific manner. For college students, their dorms shut down at a certain time, meaning you can't get back in. So you don't have any other place to go. So a lot of people just kind of hang out all night at this internet cafe because like I have no place else to be. Now, of course, the way China's viewing it is like if you weren't doing that and you were in your room in a proper time, you wouldn't have these problems. But that, that's a whole different thing. But I'm very curious is like, I can't imagine what it would look like in the U.S. if the government said, save how we approach rules, just like say the government actually managed to limit us, everyone under 18, to basically, from what I can tell, for a weekend it seems to be about 9 hours total. Like, what would that do for companies like Bethesda? Would Pokemon be a smash hit? Would Fortnite even exist? Because like a 15 to 18 year old crowd is a pretty solid chunk of like cash that's coming straight from parents who are buying them everything.
It would hurt the game. It would hurt the games industry for the simple reason, like, I mean, you guys have already got limited time as it is, so you're not like buying all these releases. But a kid who's got like
pretty much
a kid has got infinite time, is playing these games constantly, is buying all these brand new games and shit. And plus, like, kids these days, they want escapism, man. Like, we all do. That's why we play video games, is to escape our lives into something greater than ourselves, to feel a sense of empowerment, to feel a sense of purpose, as sad as that sounds, but it is, like, because that's what escapism is. To escape what the mundane lives or shit or the troubles of our lives and just find something more enjoyable and greater. And to limit that, like, fuck, that is...
Right, and then the question is, when you have a generation of children who don't spend a lot of time playing video games, when they hit the age to play as often as they want to, are they even interested anymore?
That's a good question.
Like, if I spent my entire life not really playing them, then I'm not going to all of a sudden turn 20 and be like, yeah, I want to dedicate. Like, I've just moved on.
Yeah, I mean, and then those who never really got into gaming as they get older, as an adults, they usually tend to do other stuff. Because I have friends out here in Seattle who don't even game. I'm the only gamer, and I look like I'm the weirdo. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn.
You are the weirdo.
but I'm the they don't game at all, And like I'm like, all right, well, I have a podcast Mondays, and like, what's it about? Video games? They're like, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, but
no. She turned around and said, "Do I look like I'm here to impress you?"
No, but it's cool though. People have different things, and I think that's what Reggie's kind of alluding to is like if you are limiting your gameplay because of the country you're in, and you're most likely gonna get less attached to it. It's like, oh well, either that, like because of the extra time that I had, I got into a different hobby that I'm actually more passionate about, and then you end up what could cause a situation, a scenario where that person drops gaming or become a super casual. So,
and then if they drop gaming, and then what incentive are there for the people like Black Myth Wukong might succeed and do well, but what about those after them?
Yeah,
now it's on the Tencents of the world or Microsoft or Sony's or whoever to like reach into China to pull out, but China isn't necessarily going to like let that happen.
No, they're not.
One game I will mention that is coming out from that China Hero project, similar to Lost Soul Aside, is Fist, which is you know,
the bunny game.
coming out on the 9th.
Which looks good. That's what I'm saying. Is there's talent in China, man. I mean, I know you guys could be right. Maybe I'm just getting too excited because I want something different in Chinese history. Chinese lore.
You are right to want
different.
something different.
But in the same time, like I'm not ignoring the fact that I could, it's not the perfect situation. Like I wish this talent was coming from Korea, where it's like, okay, cool, and no issues because video game is their national sport. The developers are gonna be fine, whatever. But unfortunately, it's not. Korea is kind of stagnant for me. But in China, all these developers, these younger developers too, are trying to make these games, but also are handicapped by making these games. So it's kind of a double-edged sword here, unfortunately. But
you have a situation where like China like literally just shuts down all game development,
which can happen.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, it could completely shut down the whole damn industry
because they are against it. It's amazing that Tencent has made the progress that they have. Because
it really
the government is that much against gaming that literally any day now gaming could be shut down because
you want to know the only reason why they haven't
care for it.
I wish we had like a Chinese native here because
exactly.
I'm curious to ask some questions about like how that structure is like for Tencent, right? Because it's a communist country, but how does it play to like companies like Tencent? Like, do they lobby the government to be like, okay, here's a big bag of money?
No, I guarantee
they
pay the right. No, I guarantee. Yeah, probably the right way. They pay the right officials.
Right.
They probably pay the right officials, but from what I'm seeing, it's like they're running out of people to pay. It's getting to the point where like your money isn't good enough. Like we're that much
we want
they're culturally against it.
We don't want you to pay with money anymore. We want you to pay with information.
Well, one way they could do that, I guess, is like maybe migrate into a more friendly ecosystem like Singapore, for instance, right? There's Chinese people in Singapore, the Chinese speaking language.
China will never fucking allow it. China will never
stopping people from moving to Singapore and then trying to build because there's already a tech hub there. But I mean, like,
there's nothing stopping people from doing it. The biggest
maybe
problem
I'm just being naive about it. I don't know.
Is getting out of the country.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well,
and also the other thing you need to remember, and this is the God's honest truth, and it's true for anywhere you go in a lot of cases, but a lot of these people grew up in these countries. That is ingrained in them.
Yeah.
Like it's not just their home. It's ingrained in them to live under this communist rule.
Yeah.
Just to point out an example. Look at the actress who played Mulan in the recent Mulan movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
that. But it's getting to the point now where you either gonna keep making this money or you gonna move your company because
that's what I was saying. Like move it to Singapore and be like
that's real.
But what I'm saying is yes, that's completely fine. But the problem is trying to uproot an entire company like Tencent and moving it to a country like Singapore.
I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's something that that Tencent has to really
think about,
that they're really talking about. I'm not saying that they're in the active planning stage, we're doing it, but it's definitely something that I think they've had conversations about.
The crazy part is China is willing to lose money on this.
Yes,
because the gaming
industry, they're not willing to lose Tencent. They're willing to burn Tencent to the ground and be like gaming's dead, but they're not willing to let Tencent just walk away.
I think to be honest though, I think they are willing to lose it for the simple reason you have we've all seen the strength of ideology and a mindset can do. Yeah. We've seen it in the world today. They will do it to make a fucking point, and the reason why is because they hold those beliefs so fucking close they would kill for those beliefs.
Yeah, well,
they just simply believe they're correct.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
since we're talking about beliefs, I mean, if you want an example from the exact same ideology, look at what Stalin did.
Yep.
What?
Stalin. Remake trailer. All right,
Yosef.
let's switch gears here, man. I'm just hoping that it comes out. It's gonna be fire, and hopefully, this Chinese developers could somehow still make heat, and hopefully, we get more stories and stuff from that mythology and just the different stories, man. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the generals that were there, the three kingdoms, all that stuff, a lot of history that
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, not that motherfucker. I'm talking
we gonna act like Kung Fu Panda wasn't hard.
You would be. Hold on.
Man, there's a lot of history.
Hold on, you would actually be fucking surprised about how deep Kung Fu Panda actually gets, especially with the ideas of Taoism and fuck's it. What was the thing that Confucius preached? What was that thing terminology called? There was Taoism and I want to say Confucianism, but I might be wrong on that.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, because
he had his own following. The movie is a duality between those two philosophies.
Yeah,
you'd be shocked about how deep that goes.
The prison escape scene with Ty Lee wasn't one of the hardest fight scenes in like martial arts movies.
Man,
period.
but I'm not talking. I'm talking about other stuff, man. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I'm joking, but I agree with you.
The war between Japan and China, and like China and English, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that could be cultured.
There are so many other cultures other than the Greek.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's just something different.
Japan would gladly make a game about conquering China.
Well, no, the opposite. Absolutely. I mean, the opposite. I mean, Japan conquered a lot of Asian countries. That's why they're not seen at the.
But they couldn't conquer China.
They're not seen at the greatest light.
They did conquer China for a little bit.
They fucked up the Philippines. I know. I mean, like, they did a lot of things, but which I don't know. Maybe the West don't really know that well. But they were allies with Nazi Germany. So let's keep it at that. Keep it at that.
Samurai World Conquest.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Samurai World Conquest.
Yeah, they tried to, but the U.S. Navy and that. But we'll keep it moving. We'll switch gears to Saints Row. I don't know too much about. I just saw people being pissed off at the direction of Saints Row, and then I see other people getting mad about how the black characters are being portrayed. Someone has to fill me in. What the fuck is going on with this?
Right. Okay, Shallow, because I am a Saints Row fan. I have played all but literally one of them. And
Dante go first, then I want Kofi. Hold on. Dante, you go first. I want Kofi to go in and fill.
Right.
Go ahead.
So here's the reason why people don't like it. And this is from my understanding, and this is from what I'm seeing. Because they've got an effeminate black man in a goddamn in a game looking like a goddamn fucking millennial hipster who wants to start a startup company, which is literally actually how the developers have said the Saints are viewing their criminal activities, them starting a startup company with actual characters in the previous ones who had grounded black characters with personalities. Like for one example, Pierce and the boss. If you decide to go that way, that's one reason why people are upset. For one, and as far as and the other reason is because the developers want to talk about diversity, we want to be diverse in our games. Despite the fact that all of the previous Saints Row games have had quite a diverse cast of characters, from a fucking female hippie to a psychopathic Asian man, which is Johnny Gat.
Johnny Gat.
And even if you're not a goddamn fucking Saints Row fan, you know of Johnny Gat. He's a legend for a fucking reason.
Yeah,
they've had a diverse cast before, so the developers are talking out of their ass to get fucking what is essentially woke SJW brownie points. There's no fucking two ways about it, especially with the words that they're using in every interview they've given.
That black dude look like Kid Smooth, I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, go
ahead. So yeah, they've effectively, and this we talked about this. One second. I'm just gonna pause this game so I can get on my soapbox properly. We've talked about how, and you guys blasted me for this when I said that developers should fear the consumer. They should have some fear of the consumer because the consumer has the money. and with that money comes power. And this is what happens when a developer does not fear the consumer. They put out a heartless, soulless project like this that has nothing to do with the previous Saints Row games, looks nothing like the previous Souls games, doesn't have the heart of the previous Souls games, Saints Row games, and they slap the name Saints Row on it. And I don't want to be hearing anybody, Omar, saying that it's a remake. The thing is, when you remake something, you should keep the essence, the soul, the heart of what made that series that series. This trailer...
Reboot.
Why me? I never said
Reboot.
anything.
Because it's usually you. Because it's usually you. When you reboot something, you keep the heart, you keep the soul, you keep what kept the original so popular, what made it what it is, what got you so far as being able to do a reboot. There's none of that in this trailer, and there's none of this from everything the developers have said. Because literally, I'll read out a quote just to give you guys an idea, because I posted this in my own Discord. It's that fucking hilarious. One moment, let me get this up. We worked really hard to build on the diversity of the characters. You have Nina, who is a muscle badass and is driving around in her cars. We have Ellie, who loves her podcast. We have Kev, who loves to cook and that's his biggest thing. He loves to cook. The developers say that Saints Row will focus on the material concerns of young crew that disaffected millennials turn to crime. Millennials turn to crime to, for instance, put food on their table, feel part of a community, or pay off their student loans. Chief Creative Officer Jim Boone says that it's broadly a contemporary millennial power fantasy.
You can put that in Game Pass and it's still DOA. Nobody's playing that shit.
I mean,
alright. There was a question raised at a round table with the game's developers about the cultural appropriation. The 6 people made available for the interview were all middle-aged white men created the game set in a region with a specific proportion of the population of Latinx and Hispanic. Creative director Jim Boone said that diversity was important and there was an explicit focus on making the team producing the game as diverse as the characters in it.
Right.
This is what jumps the shark for me. Boone said that the major influences for this game came from cinema. He cited 3 titles: John Wick, Baby Driver, and Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw as key influences.
They were hipsters?
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Baby Driver was kind of a hipster movie.
Yeah, Baby Driver's a good movie.
Baby Driver was good though.
It was fantastic, but
Baby Driver had fucking soul.
All right, so I'm gonna let other because I'm gonna throw a little wrench into that. But
don't worry, I'll be the bad guy, but I'll come last.
Okay,
all right, I might be the bad guy too.
So Kofi, you're a go. What's your take on?
No, I actually really appreciate Dante, and Dante, interrupt me at any point because I have played very few of the Saints Row series. To be honest, I've only played. I don't even remember the one I played. I think it was 3, where there was a cutscene where you have to fly through a plane when it's in the sky. Like you go through the entire plane.
Yes,
that joke was hot.
That was cool. That was free. That was free. That was Saints Row the Third.
Yeah, Saints Row the Third. I really enjoyed. I have this thing where I've always appreciated Saints Row because I feel like the series always knew what it was. It has no issue being absolutely ridiculous.
No, the Saints Row has never known what it was.
Really?
No. Saints Row has never known what it was.
It started out trying to be a competitor to Grand Theft Auto. And
yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
It tried to be a competitor to Grand Theft Auto. The difference is, and this is where I take umbrage with people using the term GTA clone, because it did a lot of things differently to the GTA series to stand on its own on that regard anyway. But yes, it tried to be a competitor with GTA, but it still had charm. It didn't have over-the-top moments. Saints Row 1 didn't have as many over-the-top moments that you wouldn't expect from a GTA game.
Yeah.
A high-speed chase against a fucking big giant fucking rig with a lot of cars that they start chucking off the car towards you. That's straight out of San Andreas because they did the same thing in San Andreas.
That's a good point. I forgot about the first 2 games.
But the characters held their own. Johnny Gat was charming. Like, you remember all the characters. There was Dax. There was oh, for fuck's sake. There was a lot of. Sorry, I'm multitasking.
No. Well, while you're looking it up,
no, I'm not looking it up. I'm multitasking. Sorry. No, there's a huge diverse of characters in it that are all memorable. The gangs were even memorable, but in my opinion, they didn't get they didn't get more memorable until 2. But 2 had its silly moments, but they were kind of like silly moments, but like more of a what the fuck kind of serious silly moments, but they had more like what the fuck serious moments, like facing a character called Mr. Sunshine from the gang The Sons of Samedi. You put a bullet in this dude, he gets up. You put a few more bullets in this dude, he gets up. You put a lot more bullets into him until the character decided to decapitate his ass because the dude was literally using voodoo.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
here's the thing: it had moments like that, but it was more of a what the fuck. This is weird, but it's also kind of cool that this might exist. 3 is when it started going a bit too over the top for me, and I'll admit that. 3 is when it kind of went over the top because 3 didn't have 3 had fucking zombies. Now, canonically, the games has had zombies, but more in the sense of zombie homies. And they've had moments, but nothing like you're fighting a horde of zombies or literally jumping through an entire fucking plane.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I like that. I thought it was like going in its own direction in 3 from GTA.
3 it seems to find its direction, but the problem is you go from what people would consider the peak. And if you ask anybody who has said that they've played the series from 1 to 4, they will say 2 is the best. The people who predominantly say 3 is the best are the people who started with 3. Gotcha. They will turn around and say they played 3 and 4, but they never played the original. Exactly. That's what you will say.
What you're saying.
1 and 2 is where it's at.
Go ahead, Kofi.
Hold on. Sorry. Let me round this up. Sorry.
All right, real quick. We gotta get everybody else in the panel, motherfucker.
But you want me to? I said I was going to break this down. I'm gonna break this down. All right. So 3. The problem with 3 as well is it had its over the top moments, but it went too zany while trying to have serious moments. But the zany shit took you out of the serious moments, like Johnny Gat's death. Like all of the other serious shit in the game they tried to do. Like the ending where you got to choose, are you going to save the characters or are you going to go and kill Killbane? Like, it kind of fucks with that. Then
now
there's 4.
I get it, though.
Yeah, now there's 4. I actually like 4 more than 3 because at least 4, they just went full fuck it. They just went full fuck it.
Yeah,
like with 4, they were like, you know what? It didn't. All this wacky shit didn't exactly work in 3 because we tried to be serious. So let's just have our tongue firmly in our cheek so we can get as much dick in our mouth as possible.
So, really quick, again, I love that attitude about the series. I guess for me, when I look at Saints Row, it's the gameplay that always drew me in, and the goofiness in the story was just for me to laugh. And you're right, maybe I don't appreciate the original 2 and that lore and the characters from that era. And so when they come and see this reboot or remake, whatever you want to call it, it's not paying respects like the original 2 was to storytelling. Like literally, when I looked at that clip of just, like when they show the gameplay, but it's not like a lot of gameplay, that was enough to make me like, I'm interested. Like literally, the characters in the stories, I'm like, whatever. I just want to get my hands on the controller and shoot people.
I'm sure the game. I've said this before. I said this on my reaction of it. I'm sure the gameplay might be fun, but I ain't gonna give a shit about it if I'm not gonna be invested.
Gotcha.
Yeah, see, I don't look at it like that. To me, it's just like shoot a gun.
I'm seeing a trend here. It seems like
I want a reason to shoot that gun. Like the thing is as silly as this sounds in a gangster game, at least they gave you a fucking reason to want to cap every motherfucker.
Gotcha.
Like, I'll give you an example. In 2, one of your homies, one of your lieutenants, gets dragged over asphalt while chained to the back of a truck.
Yeah.
That makes you want to kill every motherfucker in the opposite gang for doing that.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I'm seeing a trend where it seems like the fans of the original series are probably taking aback by the recent changes of the new game. And then like Kofi's like, I just got into it. I'm not really that invested in the story, but it looks cool to me. I'm ready to just fuck shit up.
I find it even more fucking surprising that like half of the people I've seen who started playing with Saints Row the Third fucking hate what they saw. That's what surprised me out of all of this, because I'd imagine it was that crowd that they were trying to go to, but they've even turned around and said, and this is their words, the crude humor of the original series was a product of its time.
I mean, it was wild.
You can fucking eat a dick.
All right, man. Pharaoh, man, we gotta get everyone else's thoughts on this. Pharaoh, what's your thoughts? And it seems like you're more aligned with Dante on this.
I actually think it's unfortunate because I was excited to see that Saints Row was coming back. You know, when I first saw it, but then like, you know, as I like really looked at the trailer, it just got kind of disappointed because like you have this like vacuum of like Rockstar, like we just don't want to make another Grand Theft Auto, and if you know. If you would have made a decent Saints Row game that was kind of like in the mold of some of the older ones, it would have filled that vacuum of people who are looking for that new Grand Theft Auto. Like that could have been, you know, that for them. Because I mean, all you got is GTA Online right now.
What's so funny is all they had to do was fucking remaster Saints Row 2 finally, and they would have got that. Because they've been promising that.
Like I think they missed out on a big opportunity, you know, trying to cater to no one, because I don't think anyone's buying that.
Can I ask you a quick question, Pharaoh?
Defending this.
I like that you guys both like the older games. Quick question to Pharaoh. So how do you feel about the aesthetics of some of the characters you saw, like the black character with the rocket launcher at the end? Did that throw you off? I've seen people say that they're tired of like that hair design. Do you feel like that's overdone? Like, how did you feel about the characters, how they were presented?
You know, I just don't see African American characters represented in games enough. So like when they're in there, I don't really criticize them. You know, unless like the hairline just looks like bad, trash.
Like Bloodborne, like Bloodborne.
Like really, like,
like black hair is still a problem.
Yeah,
it's still a problem. It's a problem in Madden of all things. Black hair, it's garbage in a lot of games.
So like, I mean, for me, I just, you know, I'm appreciative of, you know, the representation, but I mean, like, I'm not thinking about that type of stuff. I just want a good game, you know, when you put those characters in there. But I think it's like disappointing the direction that they decide to go with the franchise, because I kind of feel like it's DOA. Because if you don't have the people that originally supported the game, I mean, I don't think you're gonna get enough new people to like really like champion it coming out. So you're kind of like starting from scratch, you know, building you're kind of like rebuilding your brand almost.
Yeah, maybe that's what that's what they're trying to do. Like
and if they're trying to do that, then they're trying to rebuild that shit on fucking crumbled foundation.
They're building it from the ground. Yeah, like they're building it from the ground up. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, there's a vacuum missing with GTA not being really present. So there's a vacuum there.
That vacuum is not going to be filled by that type of game.
We'll see.
We know.
All right, I want Jubei to go, Omar, and then Reggie to top this off. Jubei, what's your take on this, man? You heard everybody else talk. Do you have any issues with Saints Row Remaster Remake's new direction?
Initially, I didn't. When like they showed their bill, I'm like, okay, people are gonna hate on how the shit looks, but then you kind of get into them like, if they didn't open their mouths about the diversity piece, I don't think we'd have a fucking issue. But for them claiming to be like diverse when really all they're doing is kind of just pandering at this point, it's just irritating. And even if the game is good, it's not gonna really matter because like they're going about this.
You really want to hear about you really want to hear about gangsters trying to pay off their student loans?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Again, that's the thing as well. They've gone out of their way and said these characters come from other gangs who decided to leave those gangs to come together, and instead of building what you would consider a gang, they're seeing it more as a startup company.
It's this new age, man. Tech is here, man. I don't know, man. All right, so
You gonna fucking tell that to the Bloods, Crips, and fucking Blackstone Peas, and you gonna tell that to all them motherfuckers?
you'd be surprised, man. Nah, you'd be surprised. They actually have businesses, but
They do.
They
got a whole lot of fronts.
Yeah, but they got their fronts for other illicit dealings.
I don't know. Allegedly. I'm in the West Coast now, so allegedly.
Imagine somebody pushing weight on the corner talking about, man, this is my corner. I need to pay these loans off.
The loans is real, man. Loans is a real thing, man. Let me
I'm turning that episode of The Wire the fuck off. Yo, I'm not watching that shit.
You ain't.
Man.
Oh fuck! Name me something like that's like the opposite of The Wire right now.
I mean, at least in paid in full when he got all that work. You know, he's trying to help out his man.
The analogy I'm trying to come up with.
Loans.
Yeah, the thing is though that I was trying to come from is you've effectively gone from The Wire to the opposite of The Wire when it comes to this Saints Row.
The Office.
At least, like if they were gonna
from The Wire to The Office.
If they were gonna reboot
Dunder Mifflin,
like,
you know what I mean?
Like they should have been like pushing drugs on campus. Like if anything, like not
You
necessarily.
do. Okay, you actually fucking do. There's a mission for that in Saints Row 2.
All right, man.
For this new game, I'm saying for this new game.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Like,
you Debbie Downers.
Persona selling drugs. It should be like Persona, but selling drugs.
All right, let me get other people's opinion on this, man. Omar, man, what's your take? Do you even care? Have you played the original? Like, what's your take on this whole hate?
It was Xbox, so he doesn't care.
I never played any Saints Row game, but I am aware a little bit of the history and how things is and stuff like that. And this is my opinion, but they had such a big like not every developer gets a chance to reboot a big franchise. Well,
that's true.
You can call Saints Row a big franchise. So they really had the chance to nail it and nail it out the park, hit a home run with it, and they shot themselves in the foot in two ways. First way is they are playing in between the comedy and seriousness. Like you got gun violence, you got blood and stuff like that, but at the same time you have him wearing that cat, what's called? That cat
cat helmet.
Yeah, cat hat helmet.
The worst thing, sorry to interject, but I just want to preference this. The first two games did have humor. With all of that gun violence. The difference is this is completely written, like what you're seeing is not written well to be able to balance it. They don't know how to balance it.
Yeah, because you one of the reasons why I think 3 worked is because not only they went batshit crazy with it, they had almost zero seriousness in that one.
Yes.
And it just worked. Like, if you wanna, we all know Grand Theft Auto is a juggernaut. You can't fuck with that juggernaut. So, in their mind, we're like, okay, let's do our own thing, which they did with 3, which was nice. And then they transitioned to 4, which was also fun, because they gave you superpowers and stuff like that, and you're fighting aliens of people, and it was creative. Like, I will give them that. And you know their fan base have been begging them, no, go back to 2. We want 1 and 2. Like, so many times I've heard people like say, like, some of the moments in Saints Row 1 and 2 made me cry. I really love 1 and 2, and I wish they would go back to it. So yeah, they shot themselves in the foot with that one, and then there's also that diversity aspect of it. Like, I genuinely understand diversity is a good thing. However, when you go to the level of pandering to it,
Yeah.
then you're like too much. Like when you wanna play a game, you wanna play a game because you wanna enjoy the game, not because you wanna have developers pander toward you or toward a certain group. Like if they have just said, okay, look, these are a group of teenagers that are like in their early 18, and they're gonna fuck shit up. Go and ride with them. Like that would have been perfectly fine. A group of teenagers, they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna learn the hard way how the life in the underworld is difficult and stuff like that. But instead, they talked all about millennials this, diversity that. Like people wanna escape reality when they play video games most of the time. So that was such a mistake on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it would be a good idea like if they did something like they were manipulated by like the actual drug dealers and they were working for them at first, and then once they realized they were manipulated, they started like fighting back against the gang or whatever. Like something like that, I guess might work. But like, I don't know, like, it's just
You know what's so
weird.
fucking hilarious? Do you want to know what's so fucking hilarious? That's exactly how the Saints started in the original.
Oh yeah.
Because Benjamin King and Julius started the Vice Kings in order to fight back against Los Canales to stop all the drugs being pushed. But then the Vice Kings started getting into drugs, and Julius left and formed the First Street Saints to fight back against the Vice Kings and everybody to clean up the streets. That's how all of this shit started.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I want to go to Reggie. Before I go to Reggie, and I want to echo, I think, what Pharaoh and what Omar said about, like, I'm one of the biggest person when it comes to like wanting diversity in games, obviously, but at the same time, I want like legitimate diversity, meaning like the story is coming from someone who knows about it, lives it, or like just be able to provide actual legitimacy in what they're doing, not just because it's the cool thing to do. For instance, like Days Gone, the director, the creator, the writer got a whole bunch of shit for not having any like black characters or minorities really. I mean, there's some, but like in the game, and I never like took that the wrong way because I drove through Central Oregon.
They said,
about the zombies and stuff. But like
what they said is the creatures are all white.
Yeah, like
why were they only white?
Yeah. They actually fucking explain it in fucking game. It's because they actually explain it in game. They even turn around and say their pigment changes. Their pigments changed because they turn into nocturnal goddamn creatures.
Right, exactly. But even more so that even more so than that, like just like the bike culture that he is. Like the guy is white. His whole team is white. Right, like he even said, like it's hard to get diversity in the area that they're in. Central Oregon is very rural.
Is black though.
But I'm trying to. No, he's nice. I think he's white. He said he was white. He's not Spanish. No, he is. No.
Who's that?
No, I'm talking about the character, not in real. Like if he has a best friend, that's fine. I'm talking about when he made the game and he was saying like, I'm not gonna make a story that I know nothing about. That's the point I'm trying to get. It's like I don't know anything about that. Why would I write about that? You know what I mean? I'm writing for what I know, the biker culture that I know, and I respect that because I don't want them to make a biker culture that because there's black bikers, there's Asian bikers, Spanish bikers. But if you don't know that culture or don't hire someone to help explain it to you, which that's one way to do it, then don't write about it. Don't force it. That's basically what I'm getting at, and I respect Days Gone developers from doing that personally.
A good game that represented the black but also the Hispanic community would be in Miles Morales.
Well, both of them, yeah.
It was a fantastic representation. The way his mother speaks with him English and also Spanish. Spanish,
It's different.
and the way his hair was, it's like they did their homework,
Basically, yeah, that's what I
and
mean.
they
Yeah.
acted upon it. And they did it.
That's a franchise that doesn't necessarily need a lot of homework because the groundwork is already built for them. They just got to reference the material.
I was gonna say, and he's already a character, but I mean, like from a new IP point of view.
See, can I throw a game out there? I'd just like to read the room because my and this is just me. Someone, I don't want to offend anybody on the panel, but it's just how I've always seen it. I love diversity in games. I really do. I just hate it when you add diversity and their character, their one defining character is I'm black, I'm white, I'm lesbian, I'm bisexual. Like, I love having a diverse amount of characters, but I want them to be characters. I don't want them to be one note. And I think I've actually mentioned this before.
No, you're right.
I want to read the room. I want to read the room for a second.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I want to read the room for a sec. Would you say, like, just it popped into my head just wondering, because I don't know about inner city life, obviously. I mean, not black inner city life. But how good would you say the representation of San Andreas was?
I'm not from California.
I never played it,
San Andreas was a really good representation of Boys in the Hood and other movies that show the black condition in gangland territory.
Yeah, it's excellent representation, but because, like Pharaoh had said, the work was already done. He just took all of the hood movies. They took all the hood movies and put them in a game.
and put them into a game.
Hold on. There's a documentary. There's a documentary of Rockstar. They actually went out to California and actually interviewed and spoke with like a gangster. Like to help them make the game,
and they also did get a lot of and also a lot of their cast were obviously of the ethnicity that they were cast as. So a lot of them were rappers as well who came from the inner city life. So they did also consult those voice actors.
Absolutely,
which is why I love Rockstar. They could do stories like that because they actually do the research. They were in the hood. These fucking British guys. Like, you see the movie, there's a movie, I think, on Netflix about them doing that. Like, it's wild.
Their entire history is baked on, like, a very good love of American culture, particularly sort of the hyper-violence of it all. It's why, Vice City is basically Scarface. San Andreas is, they follow that whole sort of path line because that's what they're into. That's what they like. And that's what they like about America. With the Russian or that Eastern European coming into to New York. So, while I'll certainly give them credit for it, again, I still got to lean with Pharaoh here. If someone went and did that and talked to the creators of Miles Morales and all that type of stuff, it's wonderful. But still, the work was done for you already. True. Like, you just had to not mess it up. Basically, you had a blueprint. Yeah. All right. But Reggie, your take on this, man. I'm saving you for last. Everyone, for the most part, except for Kofi, are like, this is. We were excited. Now this is dumb. No one's gonna buy it, like Pharaoh said. What's your take on this? Oh yeah, I'm a little bit on the opposite. Well, opposite being like I'm not particularly excited about it. Right. But I've never particularly been excited about Saints Row. I too have played all of them 1 through 4 and Gat Out of Hell. And so they've always been a series that's kind of worn its colors on its sleeve. Mm-hmm. This is the ones with the all Asian gangs. Yep. Who are obviously, of course, like drive fast cars. Or as Dante the first one, the voodoo folks who are like
Sons of Samdi.
Yeah, the Sons of Samdi.
The Asian ones are the Ronin. The Sons of Samdi are the voodoo ones, which is fucking hilarious considering they're actually led by what is clearly meant to be a African warlord kind of fucking stereotype, which is just boggles my mind. And then so then you have the Brotherhood, which is your basic tough guys with tattoos and love big fucking trucks. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, when we talk about diversity,
that was the beauty of the old Saints Row is that they were unapologetically what they were. Like they
exactly.
Well, see, and here's where I get a little weirded out when people are feeling a way about this new one. What it seems to me is that what you just don't like is their being unapologetically about what they want to be now. And if they want to be hipster, SJW, millennial, then that's what they want to be. You don't have to like it, and you can certainly voice your opinion on it. But if I said I don't like that because always, particularly like if I were Haitian or African, you get any gang that's in a movie, somehow or other they're going to be associated with voodoo in some way or form, and it's like you do know they all don't do that, right?
But
or if you're an all Asian gang, you're cool, you've got tats, you've got swords,
you
and you probably
cars.
drive fast
Let
cars.
me absolutely destroy. Let me absolutely hold on.
Let him finish, Dante. Let the man speak.
You've gone so long on your passionate thing about it. All I'm presenting is a different option here.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it. Like, I find it fairly interesting that, like, okay, what is the weird millennial thing to do, like, if you're paying student loans? Because let's be honest here, how do you think most people got into OnlyFans? They're doing it because they like want to. It is a excellent source of income to get into. If people could freely get into gangster culture, and like in quote unquote gangster culture, because everybody likes to think they know what it is, but nobody really knows unless you're from it or live somewhere close to it.
Exactly.
What happens when they decide like I too need to figure out how to make money, and gangs are an easy kind of thing to do, and we're a little bit smarter than most of the dudes that are here, so we can figure this out a lot better and make this work a lot more efficiency. We talked about The Wire earlier, Stringer Bell was running his gang like a company.
Yep.
That was the whole point of it. It's absurd, right? Because none of the other gangs did that and they were just as successful. But like he wanted to run it as an actual company. They had meetings, they like high level, they felt like shareholders meetings. Even though truth be told, it's just Stringer and Avon.
Yeah.
Like they run everything. But like they presented a different option. It's like, well, what if we run this gang like a corporation? Yeah. Well, what if a bunch of hipsters and sure, SJW's fine, wanted to run a gang? Like, what would that look like? Like the diversity thing.
It would look nothing different from what a lot of other gangs do in real life. I mean, do we need to talk? Oh, what the fuck was his name? Lucas something. Fucking King of Heroin in Harlem. Back in the
But Dante,
80s,
what game is doing it in this angle, though?
But he's from Frank Lucas, and he's from that.
Let me explain. Saints Row 3 did it. Saints Row 3 had the syndicate, and they ran all their shit like a business.
But like
again, the only thing you're not liking. So you're not liking just the who is the face of it all.
No, it isn't a case of the face. It's the fact that there's no fucking soul to this game. It's cookie cutter, copy and paste.
You don't know. You have to play it. You don't. Maybe it's a whole new story. Like you guys are jumping the gun way too early. You just wait and find out. It's something different.
And also, I'd like to comment on the Haitian thing. Like the problem with that idea of yours is that they weren't even fucking Haitian. The Sons of Somebody weren't even a goddamn Haitian gang, and a lot of the members were white as well.
Now ask any person who probably played Saints Row what race those people were. If you say they're the Sons of Somebody, they would probably assume Haitian. Listen, I know exactly how it works with things like this. You just put a catch-all.
Yeah.
It's just a simple catch-all. Even if they weren't Haitian, it doesn't change the fact that they are the Sons of Somebody, and as you mentioned, had a zombie.
No,
they did not come back to life.
I didn't say a zombie. I said that he just wouldn't fucking die. I said that he was he was the only character using voodoo. Like he's literally the only other one.
Which is used almost exclusively by Haitians.
Yeah, exactly, almost exclusively.
In African culture.
So either way, the moment I see anything voodoo, most people aren't going to like, oh well, realistically there's some other Jamaican people who use it. There's some things down in New Orleans and all this stuff. No, people immediately assume Haitian. In the same way, if you see a dude with dreads smoking, the very first thing you're going to think, look at that Jamaican, look at that Rasta man.
I just think immediately Jack Black from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
So, like, again, I understand, but again, Saints Row, it's always worn his heart on his sleeve. And it's not trying to be any more clever than what it is. And that's perfectly fine. And I think that's what made the series great. But, like, let's focus on what they're doing now. Like, again, if it doesn't have any soul to it, fine. And I'm not fighting for it to be
actually play it.
Yeah, I'm not fighting for it
to be good.
Yes, like I said, it could be good. It could be fun. I do think it's very funny that just like in the previous Saints Row games, a bunch of white dudes are like saying we want diversity. Weird. Okay. Like where was this when you did it the first time, why should I believe you now?
It was there though, obviously. It was there.
I'm talking about diversity in the same way that FC is talking about diversity.
Exactly.
Because it's still a bunch of white guys telling me, hey, I put black people in the game. You know, I really like to see black people
have a token
making
person.
the game.
Thank you, Ray. That's what I'm talking about.
Because black people, you know who would know how to write a story about an inner city gang better than some white dudes who probably never came from an inner city gang? Maybe a black person who at least might know someone from an inner city gang.
Right. Or if you have questions about how dress should look, maybe you should hire Jubei, who's, you know what I mean, like is doing.
Well, you know, actually spends time with black hair.
That's what I mean. This is those type of things.
Yeah, but it's still a bunch of white guys telling me, "Hey guys, let me shake. Can you shake my hand for these diversity points?" I'm like, no, not really. And I've never shaken your hand because you weren't doing it originally. Just because you got a bunch of brown people in it now does not make me think you're going to do it again. So I do agree with people on that one. It's just fake diversity, but it's always been fake diversity. Let's just keep it 100 here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't start pointing at this one without paying attention to the previous 4.
That's big fact.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say.
That's all I'm saying is, like, don't act brand new. Know exactly where they came from to get to this point. The only thing that's changed is, like, the opinions of these people now.
Yep.
So, like, again, I don't know what Saints Row is going to be. It could be interesting. I personally don't mind a little nerd dude. I think he's kind of, like, I always like nerd black characters.
And that's very rare. I mean, that's also a change. That's also a change. It's a rare thing.
I don't mind them either. That's why I like your man from Watch Dogs 2. Which is funny because a lot of people, that's the other
Asian
defense
dude, right?
that I fucking hate, is people saying, oh, you're giving this shit, but you like Watch Dogs 2. That's because the writing, it's because I didn't care what they were wearing. What I cared about was the characters, and the characters held up with the characters held up. They had good characters in Watch Dogs 2. My problem with this game is it looks like they're going to be one-dimensional.
Yeah, but like
that's my problem. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they wear, so long as they're good characters. Because I judge on the character, not the way they dress. You think I go around deliberately taking the piss out of hipsters? Fuck no. Fuck no. I take the piss out of them if they've got shitty fucking personalities, or if they've got no personality whatsoever, right. Which a lot of fucking millennials tend to have.
But we
personality.
We don't know that yet. We have to find out.
We've seen nothing about me with no fucking confidence.
Well, that's fair.
That's fair.
That's
like,
fair.
That's 100% fair.
That's fair.
But again, I'm just like I don't know if I'm on this side of like, quote unquote SJW wokeness. Saints Row has gone this way, like the video Kofi posted, and I was just
I didn't agree with that. His reaction was like overdone.
That's mad cringe. I saw that video.
There were a lot of people who I agree with some of the points that they make, but they go a little way too fucking far with it, and I'm like, I see where you're going, but like you are projecting way too fucking much onto this.
A lot of projection, and you just don't. Like, you jumping the gun early. You don't know. Find out. If there's a lot of symbolism and all that other shit that let's go with, you know what I mean, and they're force feeding it to you in the writing, then you can say that stuff. But we don't know.
Like the one thing I do disagree with, because I didn't jump on this immediately because I figured I was waiting for this to come out, was the black character you were mentioning earlier with that hairdo. People were saying they were sick of that fucking hairdo. Now, now there might be some projection on their part saying woman strong and shit like that same diversity thing. But from what I've been hearing, that's the boss. That's the main character. That's who you will be customizing throughout the entirety. That's the person you'll be customizing in the game. That
was my assumption too. Yeah,
you can change her. You can change the gender, the look, whatever. Yeah. That's that character at the end of the trailer, which is why I really didn't. Now my thing is I don't care if she's on the front of the box or not. I'm just going to have to assume maybe it was a diversity decision to put her on the front of the box, considering like a lot of the others had the male boss on the front, but well, actually, I think only one of them did, and that was Saints Row the Third, actually. But like, no, I didn't even jump on like ripping that apart because I knew for a fact that character must have been the boss because it was the last character you saw. So I was waiting to see if character customization was coming back, and if it wasn't, then I would have ripped it a new one because that would have just been another example of that diversity that we were talking about.
Yeah, so like I think it'll be very interesting to see. I'm willing to bet it still has some like fun Saints Row charm, depending on. And again, what they said to me was a bunch of buzzwords, and like I don't know what that means specifically. Like you're just saying words.
Oh no! Like the thing, they've been very clear on the fact that this will be a massive departure. Like these are not buzzwords. They were very clear on this. This will have none of the humor of the previous Saints Row games.
And
they've gone on record and said that.
It could be a good thing though. We don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like we don't know. Like there's some fans that were mad that God of War couldn't jump. You know what I mean? Like now, whatever. Like it is what it is. They're mad that there's no longer that type of viewpoint from old school God of War. But it's still
God of War is still not called God of War.
I mean, God of War, I think, is a pretty good example. It's a massive departure from what the
exactly.
series was.
And initially, people were upset. Until they played the game.
Here's the difference. Here's the big difference, though.
So just
that's a change of perspective in gameplay.
Perspective, story, combat, yeah, everything is different.
Let me finish.
Different director.
That's a change. You know, let me finish.
Go ahead.
That's a change in direction. That's a change on the camera angle, the gameplay, everything else. But it kept the heart of God of War.
I disagree.
No, he didn't.
Kratos is no longer the rage monster who we've known him from the past couple of games. He is this very solemn. He is a father now. We've never known him to be this.
Hold on, wait. But we saw that evolution of that in God of War 3. What
God of War 3 is not the man we would have thought this Kratos to wind up being.
What, do you mean the man who went out of his way to try and save Pandora, the one who said we will find another way and eventually sacrificed himself to give humanity hope?
Yeah, because he destroyed the world. You don't get bonus points because you fucked it up. And because he's been a rage monster the entire time. He's trying to fix his mistake, and the new God of War, he is trying to be left alone.
Exactly.
He's like, I don't want to do this at all.
He doesn't want to fight at all. He became like passive.
Did you ever play the PSP games? I'm just curious.
Chains of Olympus and the one with his brother and
there's
two.
Yes, there's two. Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta.
Ghost of Sparta. That's the other one. Yeah.
Did you ever play those?
Yeah, I own them.
But he wasn't a complete rage monster in those either. Same with Ascension as well. And think of what you want about the gameplay and stuff in that, but he wasn't a rage monster in that.
There's also one with his daughter.
He is always, to me, he's always been a rage monster. He might have been focusing on his mistakes in the past. But the Kratos who we meet in God of War.
This is a good topic for like some.
This is a good topic.
Maybe next week, like can you reboot a franchise and make it different? And then like I guess the pros and cons with that, and then because right now people are jumping the gun without waiting and seeing. It's like God of War. I'm saying.
Off the top of my head, I can name you one right now which keeps the
like Halo. Halo's doing it right now.
Resident Evil 2 remake.
That's a remake. But yeah, I mean they technically did reboot the story because it did change a number of things, but that's still technically a remake.
God of War,
Zelda,
that's still a story continuation. But I will give you a reboot right now off the top of my head that honestly I think the story was better than the original. The story was completely different, but was the story was completely different, but still had the heart and the characters of the original. It was a reboot. Modern Warfare.
Yeah. Like I said, this is going to be interesting time. I think we should probably push it for next week.
That's coming from fucking Infinity Ward and Activision. For fuck's sake, I got to use them as a good fucking example.
All right, let's close this out. Let's close this out.
My whole issue is I don't need a team of white dudes to explain to me about diversity because they lack it.
No,
I don't fucking need it.
Now I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes. I'm gonna sit here for 5 minutes and tell you about diversity.
No, we're not doing that from fucking north of fucking Manchester. You know what I mean? We're good over here. But we gotta close this out, man. I'm a little bit behind. Dante, where people find you, my G?
People can find me at Dante Crisis on Twitter, Instagram, and the Dante Crisis on Facebook. You can also find me at Dante Crisis on YouTube, Twitter, YouTube and Twitch and DLive. I'm currently doing a Let's Play of Def Jam Fight for New York, as well as Borderlands. My streaming schedule right now is tomorrow will be the Elite Four of Pokemon Let's Go, so that's going to be fun. Look forward to that. Wednesday is going to be more Demon Souls 2 because Dark Souls 2 because I fucking hate myself clearly. Dark Souls 3, fucking Christ. Thursday is more Mass Effect 2. We're going into the final DLCs, Lair of the Shadow Broker, Project Overlord, and Arrival, and then we're moving on to Mass Effect 3. But after that, if you're interested to know, after all of that, it will be Kingdom Hearts 1.
There it is, man. Jubei, where people find you?
Yep, you can find me at Jubei Sensei on Twitter, Jubei X Sensei on everything else. You can find me assisting Agent Shoulder Pads, saving the free thinking world for the rest of the week.
What, me? Oh,
there it is,
sorry.
man. My guy Omar, man, where people find you?
You can't clip me, you're late.
Roger that, man. Pharaoh.
You can find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre, Twitch at Land of Pharaoh. I think I'll start streaming again pretty soon, so yeah.
Nice. Zero, man. Where people find you in a diversity train?
As always, guys, it's been a blast. You can find me, of course, at 0x386 anywhere. Join up on Destiny. It's great again. Come get us. Outside of that, you can find us, of course, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. Anywhere where you will watch a bunch of white guys talk about diversity, we will also probably be there.
And Apple, and a lot of them use Apple, so you'll definitely find those there.
Yeah.
So, see, we're everywhere. And let us know, I don't know, who's your favorite minority character? And why is it, what's his name? The Black Dad from Final Fantasy 13.
Or your boy from Telltale's The Walking Dead, or CJ Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there is a lot of good fucking written ones, which is the best thing is the ones that have been written are some of the best fucking characters out there.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, man, my guy Kofi, where people find you?
As usual, guys, creative_Kofi. Next month might be really exciting. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be doing this fan translation. And I didn't get to talk about the cease and desist that something related to our translation got, which maybe I'll explain next week. It's super interesting stuff.
You got hit by a cease and desist?
Oh, that's
I technically wasn't, but it has something
Kofi.
to do with work that we translated. So,
motherfucker.
I'll talk about it next week. It's interesting stuff.
Roger that. All right, you already know what this is. This is FC Violent. If you're listening for the first time, make sure you subscribe, share this out to gamers everywhere, and karate chop that like button. And always, always, always keep it gaming. We out here. Peace.
Late.
I'm on the outside looking in.